going over, okay? Okay. Just for your, just to have it in your case, we are here solving problems. We are finishing uh, the presentation. Today we are going to talk about algorithm. In a couple of minutes, we will solve the exercise that we were doing. I think for all the classes that we will have together, uh, the next 5 or 6 classes that we will have, I think are the most important related with algorithm. A problem solving pattern, algorithms and solving problem pattern. An algorithm is the way that we solve an exercise. We have a problem, and in order to solve that problem, we create a, some steps in order to do it. If we do just define this one, and you will go with the definition in computer science, you will say that an algorithm is a process or set of rules to solve a problem. It's just like that, right? For example, I am hungry. I will go to the, in this case, to the fridge. Describe the step. Stand up, walk, open the door, walk. I will describe mine. Go to turn right, continue walking, open the next door, continue walking, turn left, uh, open the fridge, take the, uh, take what I wanted. Okay, that could be one algorithm. But if you see it, I am still missing something. What I am seeing, I opened the door of my fridge, but I didn't close it. Then an algorithm is from the beginning till the end, and we have to take in consideration every single step that we have it. Those are algorithms, just a bunch of the steps in order to fulfill one, in this case, one goal, one goal. And then we have the other word that is problem solving pattern. In this word, the majority of things have been already done. Okay, majority of time what we have to do is to use something else. For example, if you have to get the let's say the quadratic of a number, you will not invent the formula, right? Like you use something that it was already done, and the majority of problems are already solved. For example, we need uh, uh, we need a machine that that works with gasoline, and you can drive that machine that you can travel from one state to another state. What do you think is the solution for that problem? What is the name of that machine? You will invent it from new, or maybe you will just use something that is already done? A car, right? We have a car. The car in this case is a solving pattern. It's just a solution that is done that in this case is used in order to solve that problem. And that how is a very simple way to see it, like a solving a problem solving pattern. If we go over the definition, we will just go here. As also divide the information into the section. Okay, what is a problem pattern? Is a structure or definition that is already, they show the different problems. Okay, I don't like this definition. Maybe see. Then okay. Well, present your solution, explain how it works, and the benefits for the out problem solution. No, 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 no. Problem pattern, problem pattern solution. A pattern in a solution for a problem, it has a structure and purpose. That means like it has a way to do it, and is very well defined. You have a problem, and this solution is going to work. I see in my ways a problem, in this case, a problem solving pattern a recipe. I want to make a chocolate cake. I use this recipe, right? And we have something complete the definition. An algorithm, a bunch of the steps in order to get once something done, and a problem solving pattern is one recipe. We have this problem, we can use this solution to solve it. And the majority of the time, we will have something like this that they will help you to us. Why they are in this case necessary or what we are looking? Define what is an algorithm. Okay, we already did it. An algorithm, a bunch of steps in order to get something. The second one, and this one we will not do it in just one classes. Device applies to solve an algorithm. Like write down our strategy in order to solve those problems. Compare and contrast problem solving pattern. Okay, here we will see different strategies or different recipes, different algorithms that they will help us to solve the problems. Let's say it in another word. It's not that I am showing you how to cheat into the interviews, but it's with experience you learn to figure it out which solution work better. And then my goal for this next a couple of classes is when you read and problem, you will more or less infer, or let's say it, you will notice, oh, I have this problem. I can use this approach in order to do it. Why? The majority of time during interviews, you don't have enough time to investigate, and you need to have like, okay, you hear some keywords, and with those keywords, you may take a fast solution and you can use something pre-made in order to solve one exercise. Okay, that is, and here we have a frequency counter that it was that we checked last time, 2 pointers, divide and conquer. It'll be in this case a greedy algorithm, or in this, they are different that we will go over here. What is an algorithm? A process of the steps to accomplish the task, right? What you did with the frequency counter was just like that. For example, one algorithm is fetch information. Okay, just fetch, then get this data, then that data save it in one place, but if it's not correct, show an error. Okay, small algorithm, the goal. First thing, we need to have a goal. Second thing, we divide it in different steps. The goal, fetch data. Okay. When you say, okay, fetch data, the second step is think, what do I need? Oh, I need in this case um, one endpoint or one URL. In this URL, I will fetch it. Then after fetching, I will wait for that information arrive from the, in this case, um, from the from the server. When this response arrive for my server, uh, I will just pass it to JSON, and when I have it to JSON, I can do whatever I want with that information. In case this information is not available or some error arrive from the hosting, I will just display one and this one error. That is what we are having. Okay. Mhm. Okay. For yes. Okay. Okay, I am just. For example, let's say that you don't have to write any code. You don't have to write any code. But let's start with someone here. I will just ask a little question. Sarina, there is nothing code, just say it. Let's say that I am asking you in one interview, Sarina, can you tell me the steps you have one string, right? Let's say it here, code pen. We have here, let's say like you have it here, and you have a string, and the string has some letter, for example, Anna. How you could reverse this string? No coding, just you can just explain me in your own words how you can reverse this string.
First of all, I have to put the string into array, and then I can use the method to reverse this string.
Absolutely right. That is a solution. Then she's saying my first step, in this case, I create another variable and I take my first variable and I change it. I am not talking about effectivity. I am not talking about anything else. That is a solution and that is an algorithm. Let's go with that is correct. And let me go. Kai, would you mind to help me? Let's say like we have here an array, and inside this array we have some numbers. Mhm, mhm. I would like inside this array, you give me an algorithm that find the biggest number. Can you help me how you will do it? Okay, I think Kai is not over there. Maybe Joanna, can you help me? No,
Sure.
Kai is there. Okay, I think Kai.
So yeah, go ahead, Lamin.
Okay.
Okay. Sure. So I would create a variable called max, and I would loop through my array, and I would set my variable with like, for example, I would set it as array at the index 0, and then I would start my loop from index 1. And then I would set my variable equal to array index I, and then I would return it.
Yeah. Over there, you just missing like you have to compare the max with your index one and be
Yeah,
saving the one that is bigger, right? But absolutely, that is what we are doing. And the algorithm is here. I will create a variable. Then and the first value will be the value of the array in the position 0, and then I will compare it. Okay, that is completely fairable. And when you have this kind of thinking, then let's start thinking in something extra. What happens if the array is just empty? Then the position 0 doesn't exist or is null. Then the other one you don't have to do it. I am just telling you that these are the extra steps that we are thinking in the future. Your algorithm is completely correct in the case that at least exists two elements. But if it
right.
exists in the case that they exist just one or less than one, then we have other consideration. That is called edge cases. I am just increasing what we are doing. Okay, let's go. Back to that. Let's say it like this, that you have a problem that is just one string cons, and we have one string, a string of things here. Here, this one that you have inside can change. It doesn't matter what is inside for now, but you need to create one function that return an object that count the letters, just the vowel. E, I, O, U. Yeah, just the letter. And inside, it will show how many times this one is repeating. For example, this one does, this one this, and so on. How you will do that?
Okay, so first, I'm gonna create a new object, new variable, which is empty object. So after that, I'm gonna iterate. I'm gonna use loop for each letter. Mario, may I ask something? I
Yeah.
don't really see what difference when if now I'm gonna just explain every step how I'm gonna resolve it. Is the goal, or you want me to explain more general, more like not so deep, or I just
No, that's it. Just explain me what you are going to do. Just explain me, like in your own words. What I am giving you the problem, and you are explaining me first
Mhm.
your approach. And this thing is happening because of this vector. The majority of the time when you are working, and this is will not be just for interviews, but when you are working, usually you have in this case meeting. These meetings are called refinements. The refinements are when you have a problem and you say, you know, the problem, because all the time you have tickets or you have a task, and those tasks are explaining very general for a product manager. I mean, like a for your manager, everything that they say, okay, in our system or in our project, we need to solve this, and this is the problem. Then you read it, and with your team, you usually say, okay, guys, I will in the day, right? Like, hey, I will be working this week in this problem. I think I will approach it in this way. I will do this, and this. And the other people say, oh, that sounds good. That sounds reasonable. No, you start working, taking that approach. And the interviews, you also do it. You don't have to go into the deep details, every single detail, but is to describe at least the most important step that you will follow it during
Okay,
that problem.
I see. Okay, I got it. Yeah. So as I said, yeah, first I will create a new variable which is empty object, and I need to use for loop. For using for loop, I need to convert the string to the array. I'm gonna use split, yeah, and divide every layer like a different element of array. And I will check is my empty object has this array, which is each letter. If I don't have this later, I will put in my empty object as a just key without, I can just give him like 0 value. If I will meet this later again, I will just increase this value. When I will meet new later, I will create a new key with 0 value. And I will do it again and again.
Okay, it's absolutely correct. That is what we are doing. You create a function, you create the object, you split in this case, the string, you iterate for every letter, then you will check if the letter exists into the object. If the object doesn't have it, I will just create it or add it, right? Like for example, the letter A, and I will initialize it with 1 because that exists. If exists, I will increase it till the end of the string, and I will just return, right? Okay, this is not a very complex problem. That is why in this case, we are just doing it one. You are giving me the solution. Let me just go. Okay, let's say it. Let's say it. There, let me just see. Who else do we want here? Nur Sultan, if you don't mind to help me, we are just describing algorithms. Let's say,
Yeah.
let's say it, that we have this problem. And the problem is just saying that you will have one string, like a string, The string we will have like a whatever, right? Like some information here. Let's say that in your string you have this big thing, and you have to go and check every single word. This is a word, this one, and you have to return me the longest word into this string. What will be in this case the algorithm that you will do it, or your approach to solve this kind of problem?
Give me a sec.
Yeah, sure.
I think we can slice the sentence by the space and then hold it and then create a variable. I don't know, give me a sec. Slice. I'm thinking how we can do it better. We can convert them right away to numbers, like create an array with the length of the words, and then just return the index of the maximum number, and the index of the maximum number is going to be the word, the index of the word in the sentence.
Yeah. In this case, you will need two arrays, right?
I'm sorry.
You will need two arrays.
Why? One?
What and how you will know the index of your word?
Oh, yeah. Two arrays.
Yeah, yeah, but I understand your approach. What in this case Nur Sultan is doing it is creating here. For example, one array will be like this. Look, one array will be like this, and imagine that every one of these one is has a comma. Just if someone that didn't get it, and he will have another array. He will have another array that here will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For example, it will be 5. It will be two,
One.
and so on, so on, so.
Yeah.
One, right? It will be
Yeah.
one, and so on, so on, so on. And we will find here the biggest number, and we'll return this one. And correct. I mean, I don't see any flaws into your code.
I mean, something
And
like better and shorter.
yeah, I don't think like
Mm.
better. I doubt it that I can find something better. It's a very nice approach. Maybe something that useless memory, maybe, yeah, but I don't see any inconvenience in what you are
Yeah.
doing. I think it's correct.
Okay.
And then that is the first thing that we are using it. Okay. Mhm. And that is what we are doing it. Okay. Let's continue a little bit. Okay. And we are solving this kind of step. That is an algorithm, no sumo. A bunch of the steps that we are doing it. And it will be, in this case, helpful. Why do we need to know this crap or this blah, blah, blah? Mario, what you are doing is completely useless. We never use that thing, but not. Honestly, if you know how to describe a problem, you already solved the 70% on everything. Because after saying how you will solve something, you just need to pass your words into a code, and that is easy. The majority of developers have this inconvenience that they have a problem and they start coding right away. I hope that after this class, you will understand why it's better to spend some time thinking what you will be doing. It's better to spend 2 days thinking how to solve a problem than spend 15 days trying to code that thing. Okay. Remember, there is one proportion between the time of planning and the time of execution. A bigger is the time of planning, you reduce the time, the execution time. As less is the time of planning, as more is the time of execution that we have it. And this one you can say that is the foundation to be successful, to solve a problem and to a developer. Yeah. It is a very useful skill, be able to explain your thoughts. Okay? That is Very nice. And as I did the interviews, what I was doing right now is simulating when you have an interview. And mostly in the United States, you tend to have this approach of problem solving exercise, mostly in the middle and the big companies, that there are too many people interviewing for one position that it's easier to give you a problem and to hear you and know how you are thinking. In the way that you are thinking is what I can expect for you to be during the work. For example, if I give you one exercise and you start just coding and you don't say anything before you start coding it, I will assume that you were working in that way and it's not good. Yeah. And interviews. That is what we have it. And interviews, interviews, because before to get a job, we have to pass an interview. In order to pass that interview, we have to show the people that we cannot solve things. And sometimes we need to fake it a little bit. That I will going to use. Okay, how to you to improve? This one is what I was trying to show you. Try to plan for solution to the problem. Believe me or not, our job, and you have to get used to be, or you have to feel comfortable to be uncomfortable, to have problems, to have to use your brain. That is a software developer is doing it, even if it's a front end or a not a front end. It's normal. You have a problem and we have a solution. And those, and the second is master some common problem solving pattern. They are already things done. Then if they are already done, we can just solve it. Okay, there are this one, problem solving strategies. When we talk about solving problem strategies, they are just recipes, right? Okay, if I have this problem, I can use this solution. If I have this problem, I will use X solution. It's a simple and miracles fail-safe approach. Okay, no. Everything that we will be checking, take it in consideration in a thing like this. The 90% of the time, these recipes will work, but not all the time. But still, they are cool and they are very helpful. It's like a simple, right? I wanna bake a cake. I follow one recipe, but even in the recipe, there are people that they are so good following the recipe that the cake will be so good. And there are other ones that the cake will be, okay, it's a cake and I can eat it. You need to have these things. And here we go. In the previous exercise that we were doing about I let you just to describe what you are doing. But in the future, we have to understand the problem. When someone give you a problem, the first thing that you have to do is, okay, then you are telling me that you want me to, let's say like a reverse the string that we were talking about. Then you are telling me that that you need to reverse the string, and you say, okay, that means like if I have the word, for example, the you want me to return you the word it, for example, that it will be the reverse of that word. Okay, yes, that is what I expect. Oh, cool. And then you can ask, do you want me to do it on place? Can I use a new variable? It's possible that the variable is empty, okay? And there will be numbers. And those things you start thinking, and we will try to improve your way to do it. Explore concrete example. What I say, I told you the word TEE, the, and you give me the example. If I give you this, you will give me the inverse, right? If I give you the word problem, you have to give me board or something like that. Okay, break it down. Is what you did. Okay, I will create one variable. I will use this method, step by step. Solve it. Okay, you solve it, and then you can simplify it. Example about simplification will be what Nur Sultan did, or what I was complaining about Nur Sultan, not the complaining. The process is very good, but I may ask, maybe we can do it in one array. And then Nur Sultan, what he does is he create one array of arrays, and where he is writing not just the string, but also and one subarray that is the word and the width. I am not saying that this is better what he did. I am just trying to find a fast solution. And now we just have one array of arrays. It's better, maybe not, but it's just a solution. Okay? It's just a solution. Sometimes you need to find solution, like a simplify. You have one solution, you code that solution, you solve that problem, and then you try to simplify what we are doing. You look at again and you refactor. This is the problem solving approach.
Oh,
These
we could slice and then give a callback with a map, and then like return the pairs of the with the again.
Yeah, I
Thank
am
you.
just say yes, but I am not saying that is better. I am just saying that is a solution. Okay, but these 2, 4, 5 step, I would like you to memorize. Honestly, not for another thing, because this is the good way, and it will help you. If you follow this strategy, you will have a better. First one, you repeat the problem. Let's say it, I am telling you, make it a palindrome, Joanna told her, find the maximum number in an array. And she explained me how to do, okay. Then he will understand the problem. Okay, that means that you will give me an array, yes, and that array there will be numbers, yes, and those numbers I need to find the maximum. Concrete examples. The majority of time with examples, I will suggest you to have 3 things. Try to find the perfect example, try to find an example with wrong data, and try to find an example empty, or like in the case that you don't have data. Okay. For example, if I have the number 3, 4, 8, in that array, I have to return you the number 8, right? Yes. Okay. If I have the number -2, -2, and 1, yes, I have to return you number 1. Yes. Okay. And if you give me an empty array, what I have to return? Return null. Okay. And if I have letters, okay, if you have just letters, you don't have to use anything, right? The raw data, empty data, and 2 examples where they are perfectly done. Okay. Now you explain it, break it down. In case if it's empty, I will return null. In the case that this is wrong data inside the array, I will just remove it, for example, from the array. In the third case, that everything is correct, I will create a variable. That variable will have the first number of my array, and the others, I will just iterate it and compare this data one element by one element and return the biggest one. Okay, that's all. That was the solve. I don't think like I can simplify it. I think that is or you can say, for example, in the array, we say array max number. I think that there is array max number in JavaScript. Exists this function, for example, math, that you pass some numbers and you can do it. I just remember that existed. You can just return the max. And if I am not mistaken, X is also the mean. That is a simplification, but it will depend on the mastering of the language in order to just to know it or have it to do it. And look back and refactor. You finish, you show your solution, and then in this case, you try to make it better. That's it. This is the approach that I would like you to follow for now. Don't think like you are wasting time in these 3 steps. Actually, those steps will help you to increase your communication skills, first one, and the second one, it will help you to be less prone or have like less problems in the future. And as my experience, I will tell you that they are very valuable for a developer to be able to explain what are you going to do. That's everything that we have. Do we have any questions so far? What I have been talking? Arku?
Nope.
Yeah, I have a question, Marian. So
Yes.
during the interview, is it possible just to use the first easy simple solution, and then is it required to refactor? So so later on to find out some better solution, or it's enough just to have one of the easiest, simplest?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like first one, this one is ideally, but sometimes we don't have another thing, right? Or our brain doesn't give you the better option. Then it's absolutely fine. Just have it in consideration that after you presenting one solution, the majority of the time after you write something, most of the time you find a better solution. Believe me, that is natural. After you say, "Oh, we can do it better here," or you took it, or maybe the other interview will give you some hint or anything else. And you say, we try to do it, but any of these steps is by law. This is a suggestion that helps. It is not a rule completely, right? Don't take anything like this is the way and there is not another way. You can, for example, not refactor, I mean, and that is fine. Maybe you will not even have time to finish your problem. That's all. Then it's not needed. Okay, and there we have it. Many of these strategies are adapted from this guy, George Polya. Okay, he's just he's a Hungarian guy, and he like defined this method that we can say it like that, how to solve it. And how to solve things. If you want, you can just go and get better solving problems. That is not a problem. Okay. Understand the problem. Can I say it in my own words? That's it. What are the input that I have it? What are the output? You get this, you are expecting that information. Can the output be determined by the input? Okay. Do you have enough information from the problem? Okay. That is what I said. Do I will get just the right data? It's possible to get wrong data. It's possible that I don't get data. Then those 3 things. What is the right data? What is the wrong data? And what happens if I don't have data? Those are basically the 3 cases that you would need to consider it the majority of time. Don't pay more attention to other ones. With those 3, you are safe to go in the next one. Correct data, wrong data, no data. That is what we have it, okay? Okay, write a function. We take 2 numbers and return the sum of them. Guy, would you mind to help me with that? Remember, it's understanding the problem and just using the approach.
Yeah. So where do you need to write it?
No, just explain me, like
I'll
all
just
all-
explain. So write a function which takes two numbers and returns their sum. Is it, so you're saying, is it gonna be the type of the numbers is going to be numbers or strings? Yeah,
Oh no, they will be numbers, two
it's
numbers.
just
Okay,
okay.
takes two numbers. Okay.
So you wanna me explain how I gonna do it?
If you see it like we are right now in understanding the problem, it's like retell me the problem in your own words. Tell me the type of data that you are using it, or remember
Okay.
check it by good data, wrong data, no data, and what you are going to return, and as much information as you can give me.
Yeah, I need to make sure that I'm getting, so yeah, two parameters. So yeah, at least two parameters or more to
Mhm.
make to add up all that numbers. And yeah, I need to make sure that check the edge cases in case what's gonna be in case I'm getting wrong data or no data. And if I'm getting the right data, I'm going to add up numbers to each other and return the the total value.
Okay, yeah, that is feasible. That is feasible. Okay, okay, we go over here. First one, you're coming out with example. Like I say, okay, you gave me two numbers. Let's say if I gave 2 and 2, I will return you 4, right? If I have minus 2, I will get 0. It will be the example, how it is work.
Oh, okay,
Unit test.
okay. Yeah, maybe so I had to. What about the negative and positive numbers? It's going to be only negative. It's kind of integers or doubles, or I don't know. Yeah, just to
Yeah,
clarify.
yes, absolutely. And these are called unit testing. When you are
Mhm.
saying me data, that you are calling those unit testing, and we are doing user story is like that means that if I get this one, I will return this one. And it's just telling a story. And the unit testing is when you say, okay, I get two numbers, -2 and -2, I will give you -4. Yes, okay. Then you confirm it what you have to do, and you are just do it. Start with simple problem, more complex problems, empty input. If you pass me null and null, or if you pass it, it's not a number and it's not a number, what I have to do, right? That is another example, invalid inputs. That is why you have it. Simple example, more complex example, a bigger numbers. If I just have one number, if I don't have the two numbers, and invalid inputs. That is basically what we do it. I will tell you something. Sometimes I forget these things and give you a problem. Again, the minimum is correct data, invalid data, no data. I try to remind it in this way. The complex data, maybe you can skip it if you wanted, but it's good. When I am saying, do you know that in JavaScript or in every other language you have numbers, and we have a specific, there is a limit of the numbers that you can use it, right? There is a limit. But when you pass that limit, you can use, for example, scientific notation in order to do it. And that is also a number. If you use the letter E, right? And you use scientific notation. And that we have to, maybe sometimes you can skip it, but it happens. Okay. This one, it was like what Vector did it, write a function. We take a string and return the accounts of every character on the string. That is something that we already did it. And I think it was okay how you will do it. Just continue with this one and using this approach, with simple example, more complex example, empty input, and explore example with invalid input, would you mind, Vector, to ask me or to ask me the question that you will ask if you have this task again? For example, I am giving you the task. Don't
That-
think about every simple letter, but think about the vowels. That it was the example that you did last time.
My previous task.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so Mario, okay, let's see. The task was, as I remember, I have a like string with words and letters, doesn't matter. And I have to put it in object and I had to just count how many letters I have in a string, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So is it the matter this letter, I mean small or big? Is that matter? Do I need to divide like small a and big A, or is
No, no, no. You just use the like a uppercase and lowercase are the same. That's
oh
perfect.
okay, it's good. It's actually good. So will I have only string, not other type of?
Yes,
Okay, it's good. So I
just
will
a string.
do that. What about if I will have empty string? What do I need to return?
Just return an empty object.
Okay, okay, I see. So as I said, Mario, you know,
Mhm.
after this, everything I already said in previous task, I will just repeat everything. So the
Yes.
only thing I learned is about like explaining in my language. Do I need to repeat the?
No, 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 that's perfect. This is what we needed. And the first step, you just clarify what we are doing. And now you can see that what you explained in next time, it was missing a little part. And that part that was missing is as if you have to check for some extra information. That is perfect. That is everything that we needed. Okay, write down the steps is the next part, as a Vector was saying. Then I will just explain the other part. I will create an object. I will iterate. No, like I will check the string is empty. I will check if it's just, or I will check if it's a string. Then I will check if it's empty. Then I will just iterate for every single element. Then I will save it into an array. And at the very end, I will return that object. That's it. And that is the second part. Break it down, right? I am breaking down that problem. Hey, this forces you to think about the code itself. Because now you start thinking, I will split it. I will iterate. I will use a for loop. Okay, I will save it in an object. Okay, I will zoom it. I will return the data. And now you have a better structure into your mind how you will be solving that exercise that we are having over there without an inconvenience. Then count, that is what we are already doing. Solve the problem if you can. Okay, solve. Here is Kai problem, Mario, but if I cannot do it in another way, it's absolutely fine. You can, in this case, just go back with the problem. Simplify, find the code that you are trying. Don't think about that you are looking for the best code. Nur Sultan gave me a solution and he coded a solution. Oh, okay, it was perfect. Don't think about spending extra memory, using extra space. It's absolutely fine to use any tool that you have it, just use it. And don't think about in this case that this is not the perfect algorithm. No, just doing it and add any extra code that you think that may be useful. This one was the same. Look back at refactor. Okay, we have two arrays. Maybe we can use another array and find the biggest number. We will be using for example, a variable and iterate for every element. Oh, but there exists one function that I remember in the future, right? One good thing that you can use in an interview and using it is the interviewer knows that you are under some pressure. That means that nobody is expecting you to remember everything. You can say, I remember that there is a function that if I pass an array is giving me the maximum value, but I don't remember the name. Okay, just if the interviewer is not how can I say it? It's not it's the majority of time the interviewer will tell you like, hey guy, yeah, do you mean this one? And he will give you a little bit hint, or he will show you, or maybe, hey, can I Google this function because I remember that exists, but I don't have it. And the majority of time they will say yes, why not? And it's fine. The only way that an interviewer would not allow you to use the internet is if you don't ask, or if it's very specific. I can tell you like, no, it's not necessary. Your approach is okay. And you can just continue with that, okay? A refactoring question. Check the result. If it's different, can you understand what you are doing? Can you use the result or the method for some of these problems? Can you improve the performance? Improving the performance here, remember to use your big O notation. Do we have a loop inside a loop? Can I remove this loop? I am using memory. Can I use less memory? In this case, or other ways, how this could be solved in different way. But in refactoring, keep it simple for now and just try to use big O notation in space and in time. If you see these two things, I am using too many variables. Maybe I can use less variables. I have a double for loop. Maybe I can just use one. Those things could be optional for refactoring. That is the easy way. Okay. Okay, then we have it here. And before going to break, let's recap. Understand the problem. Okay. Don't just go and code. Say it in your own words. Okay. Explore examples with real data, correct data, wrong data, empty data. Those three are the most common one, and you will be on the same place. Break it down. Okay, now that I found it, I look at the beginning, I will check if it's empty. I will check if I have the correct data. I will iterate for every single element and save the maximum value, and I will return the value. Okay, perfect. Solve it. Now I will code it. You code it and you present it. Look back and refactor. If it's possible, you make it better. How you make it better? Use the approach of big O notation. See your code, spot the code when you are spending more time or more memory, and in this case, you will have it. And this is a very safe way to solve this one. Okay. And so far, this why I have been talking during 1 hour is just how to approach the problems and how you can be in the same way and showing some professionalism. It makes sense what I have been talking right now. It's clear. I would like you to. Yes, Iona?
Oh, I wanted to say yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Then, and there is
Yeah,
a
it
reason.
makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, that is cool because I don't want you to say like I am just Baltayo just to spend time. It has a reason to try to do it. Okay, then we will just see over different common design pattern, devise the problem, and solve the problem. This is what we did, right? This is what we did. How we approach this problem. I am sure that many times you will forget about it, and it's fine. I also forget about the thing, but let's try to keep this approach. It's not that we are, it's not something that I invented. This guy that is 100 times more intelligent than me invented, not invented, all describe it in this case, how to solve it, how to solve things, and that is what we use. Master common problem pattern is what we are going to do in the next part of the class. Okay, in the next part we will be start talking about the design pattern, that is the frequency counter, multiple pointer, sliding window, divide and conquer, dynamic programming, greedy algorithm, and backtracking. As you can see it, I am basically will take it today. I hope we will see these two, and later we will be learning these, how to apply them. Okay, I want you to take all this exercise with a little bit point of salt, mostly because it may be the case that if you are a computer science student, or you have maybe see it already, but I will try to take at least the base cases in order to solve it. Okay, that we have it. And today, this one we saw it last time. We will repeat it because when we return, I will start solving the exercise that I let you as a homework. This one, and I will solve it in the way that Kai and Joanna did it. And then we will just refactor a little bit what we have it over there. And then multiple pointers and We continue in the next one. Let's go and take 10-minute break for you to relax a little bit, and see you in 10 minutes. Okay. Then, as I was saying, these are some design patterns that we have it. Don't take it too much into consideration the names. They are just the name. Think about this is baking a cake, this is baking a samse, this is driving to easy cool, this is preparing a toy or whatever, right? They are just different cases, different solution. And we will try to figure it out, those solutions that we have it, okay? Frequency counter in this case is this pattern is one of the most common. We are using an object and we just collect values of frequency of those values. Most of the time, people will refer to this as a hash tables, and we can just see it here. What is a hash table? It's not precisely that a hash uh, table hash hash table, yeah. And is has the same idea of the hash table, but sometimes we don't use it this one, right? We have the keys. The keys has like a function that hashing it, and you have the storage. And in the storage, you are just saving some information. Just because this is a very simple, this function is just basically the object containing the information. It's a very simple creating it, right? Most of the time, you have this function, this object, and this object is using as a storage, and your function is basically when you are saying if exists. It's a very simple way to do it, but we have it. The hash table they are a little bit more complex, but sometimes when you are using this frequency counter, some people say, you create a hash table. That means that you just create an object where you are storing information and you are accessing using, in this case, one formula. And your formula is just the value exists into the object, okay? And the majority of time, they offer you the needs for the double next loop that we are having it. An example, okay, before doing or creating this example, let's go with our problems that we have, right? And let's try to check in this case, what do we have it? Okay, we have two numbers. Okay. Let's assume it. Let's assume it. Look, when we are giving here, we say given two positive integers. So I will ask, hey, they will always be numbers. They say yes, they will always be positives. Why do you think in this case, if they are negative, is important? Well, if I were having here minus, I will have an extra number over there. Okay? And then when I just hear the word frequency, I know that I will just count it. 182, 281. There exist different ways that I can solve this problem. Let me just go with the first one. Okay, I just need to check it. I don't have any inconvenience. I will just say something like this. I will say cons n1 or like a number one, and it will be like a first number. In this case, two string, right? Two string, two string. Okay, and the second could be n2 will be in this case first number dot to a string, and we are having it. When you are having this just inconvenient, we can just say like a something. What do you think about this? Return if n1 dot this. I can say sort is equal to n2 dot sort. right? And let me just run this thing. Sort is not a function. I think here we have it. Let me just, let's go here. Okay, sure. What we can use in this case?
Replit.
I'm sorry?
Replit.
Replit. Yeah. We can choose Replit. Thank you so much. I even forgot about it. This thing. Create a Replit. I will have this one. And we will just have this function. I will just copy the information. I will just copy the information. And I will just say frequency. And I will pass 1 to 8 and 8 to 1. Okay, let's
Arya,
just run it. Yes,
can you check the third line, please?
the third line, yes, here.
Yes.
Second number, right? Okay. Why this case sort is not correct? What happened? What do you think I am doing? The idea is correct, but do the strings has a sort function?
I think array is a sort of
Array, right? Then let's pass it into an array. Let's pass it into an array. Let's pass it into an array. Okay. Then this one exists. Okay. Let's just save it. And here we have it. Okay. Let's just go over here. Okay, what happens? Let's say like we will pass this one into an array. I am just trying to make it a little bit more complex than what it is. Console the log, so the n1 and n2. Okay, and here we have it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and here we have it. I save it. I will clean this one and I will run it. Okay, look, I have two arrays. Maybe I will sort this. I will sort it. I will sort it. I will go again. Look, 1 to 8, 1 to 8. Okay, I will join it. Okay, I will join it. And I will join it by number. I will join it by number. Join it by number. And now I will save it. I will run it. Look, I have the same number. I can return n1 is equal to n2. And because here I have to say console the log, if not, this thing is never going to show me anything. True. Okay. This is in this case what I am having. Let me pass this one to these other two numbers. Let me just pass these two numbers. Okay. I will pass it and I run it. And false. Okay, that means if I take this code here and I pass it into my solution and I run it, it's correct. My question is, can someone tell me which is the big O complexity of what I wrote? It's a solution. It's very bad, but it's a solution. What do you think? Because here it is runtime big O of n. Can someone tell me which is the big O
It's gonna be or n of log because of sort.
Because log of n, and that is completely accurate that what you are telling me. This one is O n log of n. But as you are seeing here, this is just a solution. What is happening with this? This is the naive approach. A naive approach is just, this number exists. This one is, I know very well all my function. Let me show you something different. You create the two function, the two function, and you can iterate one and another one. Let's use a better approach. Okay. And we just have the numbers. We just have the strings. We don't have anything of this one. Oh, it's so ugly what I was wrote it. And now we have two elements. Now that we have two elements and two are string, the first thing that we say, okay. Now that we have the two elements, I know that both of them are numbers. Let's check it. If n1 dot length length, okay, I always write it wrong, is different to n2 dot length. If this is, then I will return false right away, right? If the first length, is different to the second length, return false. Okay, if they are false, if in this case, if they are if they have the same length, I need to count. Okay, I need to count. This word, I need to count. To count means just like that. Okay. That means a frequency counter. Let's create our frequency counter. The frequency counter, you will create an object, const frequency, and then let's call it frequency number 1. I just using it, and I create an object, const frequency number 2, and I create an object. Okay. Now I need to connect those numbers. As a vector told me, I will just go and I will say for loop. Let num, let's say it, let's num, and we will use off, right? I can use a simple for loop, or I can use this one, and I will say frequency 1, and I start checking. Okay. Let's say, I say frequency, I'm sorry here, in N1, right? Into this, we will just be using this N that we are having here. And let off numbers. And let's say if a frequency 1 num, if that exists, if that exists, then we just we will just say if exists, let's just get frequency here. Let's just say a frequency here. If doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It will start with 0. And in the next one, you just say frequency 1 plus plus. Just a different approach. Frequency in the position num in the position 1. If exists, if I have something here, get me what I have there. If not, start with 0. Now Let's do it for the second one. Let's do it for the second one. We just repeat it. We repeat it here because I have the number 2 and I will just use it. A frequency 2 and just do it over. Okay. Now we have the two numbers. We have the two values. Now just let's go. Let for let number in, and we will just go. Any of them is okay. In this one, and it doesn't care, and we just evaluate. If let's say it frequency 1 num is different frequency in the position 2 in the type num, if they are different, return false, and if everything goes well, return true. Okay, this is the same thing like that I was getting by Joanna and by Kai. I return is correct, right? It's absolutely the same. The difference between this one and the other one is the big O notation. What is the big O notation on this one? What is the big O notation on this one? Nur Sultan, what is the time complexity of this algorithm?
I guess it's O of n squared. I know. I don't know really, because you are using it twice, and it might be O of n just.
Yes, it is big O n because of this. Every big O here, every for loop is big O of n because the
Yeah.
maximum is the weight. But I am understanding that your concern is because I am using it in 3 places. Then you
Yeah.
will say is big O of three times n because Mario, you are using it 3 times. But the rules say like these numbers, you just forget about them and you have big O n
Oh.
in that. Yes,
Got it.
that I understand your concern, but you have a 1, 2, 3. They are not nested because they are not nested. In this case, they don't multiply. You are just
But if you had like one nested loop and the others just a regular.
then it would be big N of square because the next you always take the biggest one into the function. In the case that you
Oh,
have yeah.
okay, got it. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, this is a solution. Now, I want you to see this exercise and tell me, not about complexity, but do you think something that we can improve here? I mean, there are plenty of things that we can improve, but I want you to tell me one thing that you can improve in this code. Take 1 or 2 minutes, see it, and start thinking where you could do it different or what we can change in this exercise.
Mario, actually, I don't understand completely this solution. So, okay, in the first for loop, yeah, line 13. So you are putting in empty object each number, right? Is a
Yes.
key, is key. Or I can't imagine how it looks in empty object when we are.
Okay, let me refactor this. Maybe it will be different. Let's say like what do you think if I say here? If this exists, if this exists, If this exists, increase it. If this exists, increase it. If else, if doesn't exist, then this one will be equals to 1. What do you think if this one maybe make more sense for you? It's absolutely the same, just a little bit different. If frequency 1 is this object, the num, I mean the element that I am checking, for example, the number 1 exists, increase it. In the contrary, initialize it with 1.
It will be just 1 because we don't have yet 1 in MTM.
Exactly, but make more sense for you or still not?
I mean, yeah, this part I understand. I don't understand when you're comparing in last for loop. I mean, okay, in frequency 1, in the first we have 1.
Yes.
Second, we have 2 because it's the first element, and when you're comparing, it should be. I mean, it is. Just second. Let me just check it one more time. This
I
one.
understand. Let me see if I understand it. You are saying in the first element we have 1 and it's 1, right? Then we have 8 and it's 1. Then we have 2 and is 1. This is the first object, right? This is the first object. Let's say the second object, it will be 2 is 1. Then 8 is 1. And 1 is 1. These are the two objects that you are creating, right? The number 1 has a value 1, the 8 has 1, and the 2 has 1. The 2 has 1 and everything.
Yeah, Mario, yeah.
This
I didn't release how it looks. Wow. It's clear right now. I see how it looks in object. You are comparing values. Yes, I understood. It was simple, but yeah. Now I see.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay, that is perfect. That is my objective, or that is my goal for today. That you see, this is what is happening, and then you're just checking in the frequency 1, in this one, and you are checking these values A1, A, and 2, and you say frequency 1 in this one with the value 1, then you have the number 1, right? 1 is equal to frequency in the position 1. In this one, in this position, is the same, or they are different. If they are different, they return that value itself. And that is the only thing that we're doing. We are using objects. If you see it, it doesn't matter because the position of the object is not important. And because the position is not important,
Yeah.
because you are just using the key, then it doesn't matter what it says, but I am just looking for the value. I using the key and what is storage here. Cool.
Okay, thank you very much, Mario. In the line 20,
Okay.
it's other option how you use 25 if it exists 25 years.
It-
The value is 1 or not here?
No, it's depending. If
Yes,
exists, can be
depending.
1 or more.
It's the value will be same as Q, right?
Exactly.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Please ask as many questions as you wanted. Remember, right now is the time for the questions. Okay, now, I think like you were thinking, what we can change in this code to make it maybe more readable or easier. Any idea? Let me give you one. What is the difference? I will take this code here. I will take this code because I want to have the same code in the both places. I want to have the same code in the both places. I will just remove this one. Here, okay.
Mario, I'm
Yes.
really sorry, but here in the when can you please move back? Show other options. Yes,
Yeah.
you said in that case our value will be same as a key, right? 8, 8.
Yeah.
In this case, let's imagine in the first frequency we have 182, which is
Mhm.
182 also, right?
Mhm.
Second, 281, and when we will compare 1 with 2, which is the first element of both frequency, it should be false. It's not 1, 1, 1, 1.
No, 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 no. Look, what I am comparing here? Here I am comparing value.
Well, yeah.
This one, these are you comparing the value that you have here. I am saying in the key one, let's say in the key one, you have one value. In the key 8, you have one. Look in the key 8. This is the key, this is the value.
Yeah, but here should be 8 is 8 because you said frequency num2 equal frequency num is
Let me just go here. Okay.
number.
Okay, I understand your concern.
Yeah.
Let's go back here. Let's go back here because I want you to be clear here. Look, let me just console the log something. I will console the log num, that is the key, and I will console log these two, just for you to see it. Okay. There are two things. I am not comparing. I am not comparing. Okay, look, the number, this one that I have here, let me call it here,
I
key.
know.
Maybe if I say key, I think this will make more sense for you.
But
It will
okay,
be
I
more,
understand what is num. Okay.
yeah. Then the key, we have the key. Oh, okay, here we have it. Let me just go here and I will just go. Look, I have the number 2 is repeating 3 times. The key is 2, but is the value inside the repeating number is, in this case, 3 times. If we just go console and we just see what is in the frequency 1 and what is into the frequency 2, you have here the two objects, and the two objects in this case, you have this one. This is the key, and this is the value. Let me just go here and get
Yes.
these two.
It's also simple, but yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah, no, it's simple, but sometimes it's difficult to see it honestly. And I understand you in this case. If you see it here, you have it. Look, these are the two objects. These are the two objects. But when you are working into this for loop, you are looking the value here in the number 1 is 1 and 1. The value 2, this 2 is 1 and 1, this one. And the value in 8 is 1 and 1. That is, you are checking the times that every element is repeated. One thing that you have to remember is that the object doesn't matter the position, because the position is not important. What is important is the key. Difference with the arrays where the position matters. But in the object, just the important is the
I understand,
well,
but Mario, 1. How
yes.
it's so stupid.
Tell.
How did you get
No, no,
1?
no.
How did you get 1 as a value of 8 in
Ah, okay.
num? Yes, okay, you got each key if this key exists in the empty object, make it equal to the same number. It should be the same number.
Let me just add you here. I will add the number 2. Just 2.
Maybe other guys who can explain me in Russian. I don't know if you if you see.
Окей. Смотрите.
2, 8 is one.
Смотрите, у нас есть вот эта цифра, да? 1, 8, 2, 2. И мы сделаем на... Говорит по буквам, но каждый идет по-разному. И что мы смотрим здесь? У нас есть вот это, объект, да? И ты смотришь, окей. У тебя на это объект уже есть эта цифра, или у тебя уже есть добавить одна больше. Ну, например, у тебя есть 1, ну, плюсовать, да? У
Да.
тебя есть 2, и если это объект нету, это буква или цифра и так далее, ну, начиная на 1. Ну, например, у тебя есть 3 коробка, да? И ты поставил на это коробка. Эта коробка пустая, у тебя ничего на эта коробка. И ты посмотришь, окей, у меня есть 1. Где остается коробка номер 1? И здесь я добавлю это номер 1. Окей, там остается одна цифра. Потом ты собрать другая цифра. Смотрите, это другая номер 1. Ну, я поставлю на эта коробка, которая уже есть номер 1, да? Ну, и на эта коробка у тебя есть 2 номер 1. На конце ты смотришь, окей, я смотрю, на коробка номер 1 у меня есть 2 бежи. Окей, это были одно. И,
Да.
my
Yeah,
Russian is getting worse.
Я принцип понимаю. Now I can explain better. Line 16. I see if doesn't exist is equal 1. Okay.
Exactly.
But in the line 21, if it exists, equal not 1 is equal to same number. I mean, frequency is 8, and you make equal to same thing. I mean, why not
Okay,
8, 8?
like this.
What?
Maybe you do it like this. Maybe this one makes sense for you.
What is it? I mean, okay, что здесь? Вот frequency and to num is 8, okay? If we will take last number. And its value should be same number. I see the same thing. Same thing I see. Frequency and to num equal
It should be 1, Mario, I think.
frequency and to num. I really don't understand why it's
Is this, look, if you say it, if frequency number exists, if that is what they say, but this one it was just, okay, let me just say,
let's see if it doesn't exist.
okay, if doesn't exist, frequency number will be 0, and you will increment it to 1. This is what is saying. What is here incremented to 1. This one that you are seeing here, if doesn't exist, this is 0, and you initialize with 1. Next time already exists, right? Then this is 1. This is 1. This is 1. Then you keep 1, and in the next line you incremented 1 more. Then you added, in this case, the number, it will increment to 2.
I thought if doesn't exist, it should be 0, right? If doesn't
Yes.
exist.
Let me just go here. Let me just go here. Let's say it, and let's take the number. Let's take the number. Let's take this number. Let's take this number here, and I will just start it. Don't pay attention to anything. Just look here. Look here. Okay. We started iterating element by element. Started iterating element by element. I am here in the number 2. Okay. This num is this one. I will just put X here, right? This. Then I say it. Frequency in the number, this one, That means here we will have the number 2. In this one, exists right now? No, make it 0. This is what I am saying here. Now, in the next line, say it the same position, incremented in 1. Then I am doing it 1. Let's go with the second number, the number 8. What I am doing here is initializing. Then I have the 8. Okay. The 8 exists? No. Make it 0. This is what I am saying because this one doesn't exist. Then
Yeah.
make it 0. Now, in the next line, make it 1. Okay, fine. Let's go to the next one. The next one is the number 1. Here, number 1. Okay. I go here and I put the number 1. Doesn't exist? Make it 1. Okay? All cool.
Okay.
Now, let's go to the number 2. The number 2 exists. Yes, then keep it. The number 2 exists, keep it. Now increment it. 1 plus 1. If this one is 2, then this one will be 2.
Yeah, I see. Just a second.
So Mario, is this called short circuiting, right? This one.
Yeah, this is called short
Yeah.
circuit.
So yeah,
It's-
little commercial, guys. So last Saturday we practiced it with Aselia on Saturday. So more than 1 hour these logical operators.
Really? But I
But that's on Saturdays.
yeah,
Yeah,
told
but I
you,
also use
don't
it.
have it Saturdays. Yeah. Mario, okay, this is very clear. And when we compare with 8221, the first key will be 8.
Yes,
8 value of 8, 1.
yes.
Comparing 1 with 2, which is it should be false.
Ah, no. This is absolutely, this is, no. Look, how many ones do you have here? Here
1.
you have 1. How many A's do you have? 1. How many 2's?
2. But
They are the same.
they are not. Окей. Я имею в виду, у них очередь, разная очередь. Сначала идет 1, а потом 2. Допустим,
No. The
Здесь
thing is like
вообще не
you
имеет
are,
значения. Здесь надо считать
yes,
количество.
it's not that we are
Надо
not,
количество digits.
и они
Вот
что,
we are,
каждое.
неважно, какой первый сравнивается с каким, то есть...
Это не
exactly.
важно, да, это не важно. Это надо считать, сколько у тебя однерок, сколько двоек, сколько троек.
Когда
И вот
итерируем,
это,
и уже по
да,
последовательности
это
первого-
там не имеет значения последовательность. Самое главное внутри этого стринга, если есть,
Я, в
это
принципе,
одно,
понимаю, но
однерка,
вот,
один, да.
допустим, у нас первым сравнивает количество однерок и количество двоек. Он же, когда у нас
Exactly.
операция идет, он же по очереди идет. Он сначала сравнивает количество единиц с количеством двоек. И они не могут быть равными, то есть это уже false идет.
Okay.
В каком месте? Ты имеешь в виду вот этот last for loop?
Okay, wait. I understand completely, Vector. But you have to understand something, Vector. And just here is the most important part.
Yes.
The values into the objects doesn't matter the position.
Мгм.
It doesn't matter the position. For example, when you have an object, and let's say like you have the key, this is the key, and this is the value. This is the key, this is the key, and this is the value. What you are seeing here, this object is the same as I say this object. For object, in this case, these are the same. This one that you have here is the same because the position of the key is not important in objects. It's just simple as that. When you have two objects and those two objects contain the same key and the same value, the order, how they appear is absolutely irrelevant.
Мгм.
And that is the nature of the objects. The objects in this case are unordered data structure. That is what we are doing. And the way that they appear is completely irrelevant. In the other case, the arrays, they are relevant. In this case, the position. That is the thing what I'm doing. And the exercise itself say like that. Just tell me if the two numbers have the same digit. Like for example, you are like, okay, how many ones you have, how many A's, and how many twos do you have? That is why we are using in this case object. In the case, if we were using an arrays, this will change everything. And what you are saying about the position, how they appear, they are relevant in this case. I'm not sure if that makes more sense.
It's absolutely, yeah. And one last thing. So for
Yeah.
in, how is working for in? He is comparing by one by one or not?
Yes, no. For in is not doing anything. It's just iterating one. Remember that for of is for arrays, and in this case arrays and list, and an string is a list. And for in is just giving me the key. Give me the key because this is an object, and this one it is an, in this case, an string. That you can say that is like like an array. That is
Yes.
why it's the different.
We was
This
told
one is giving me the value, and this is giving me the key. Yes,
object is unordered, right? Doesn't have the position. Yes.
doesn't have.
For in, he is looping. He can't loop every key in the same time, right? He is doing like one step, other step, second.
Exactly.
Yes. Can you please you deleted. Can you please
Yes, 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 sure, absolutely. Here.
let's imagine. Can you scroll up a little bit, please? Maria?
Uh-huh.
Line 28, right? 28.
Uh-huh.
Okay, frequency and one key is
Different.
I mean, let's put these values what you
Uh-huh.
write it to that
Yes.
example.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Look,
Yes.
frequency one, let's say that you are iterating. The first will be this, the 2. Then frequency and the position 2 is 8.
Your computer.
And frequency in the position 2, this position, this key is also 8. Then you are saying, huh?
Why you are taking second before first?
Because the position doesn't matter. What I am looking is the key. The important is the key. What I am looking here is the key. Which is the key? Is this one.
Oh. Yes.
Let me.
You're right.
Let me.
Yes. You are comparing key with key, not
You
just
are, and no values. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
That is what we are comparing.
Oh, yes. Yes. Thank you. I think
You're welcome. For someone is not clear this one.
I think for me only because I don't join Saturday classes. So it's
No. For example, let's say it like you have here X in the position, X in the position, let's say at 8. Look, this one, it will give me 2. And if I do this one with the Y, if I say it this one with the Y, it will be, what it will going to give me? It will give me, in this case, 2. And it will give me 2. And here will give me 2. Because the order doesn't matter. What is matter is, this one is the key. But when I pass the key, they give me the value. Doesn't give me the number 8 itself. That is a, okay.
yes, I will. So yeah, I will try to remind this method. It's very useful.
Yeah, it's not a problem, and it's a very good time to do it because as more we are advancing, these things will be they are very important. Honestly, these are things that we are using all the time. I will ask again, and I'm sorry for be asking too many times. There is someone that has still have confusion here. Let's repeat it as many times as we need it now that we are here, because in the future, I will assume that is clear. One, two, three. Please take me in private if you are not secure about this thing and you just feel and if you just feel like, okay, I don't want to ask to this stupid guy, and the next you can text me in private and I can take 15 minutes just to go over it just in case. Okay. Okay, cool. Sometimes we are okay. Now, before passing to anything extra, I want just to let you know something. You know, if you see here, this code and this code are the same stuff. I will just take this part. I will just take this part and I will just go and putting it in the same thing, because here is the same, here is the same, here is the same, and here is the same. This one is doing absolutely the same information. Something that I would like you to try to remember uh, is when you have this kind of exercise, when you have this kind of exercise, that the information is looking absolutely the same, this one is a completely candidate for refactoring. Why? Is this when you are repeating the same code, what we do it is very simple. We just take this information and I will pass it into the function. And I will call it, for example, frequency. Frequency. This frequency will get a string. I will say str, and it will just go inside here. Now I will say you will get here this this string, right? This string, and or a number. Maybe you can get a number. Then that number, we can just call it, for example, cons. Let's say it cons. Let's call it n. Let's call it str, like the string, and then I will pass this end to string. Then I will say cons. Let's call it frequency 1, and we take this object here. And what we are going to pass is not n2. I just press str, that is that I am using, num into frequency 1. I will just have it frequency 1, and I will just return this frequency 1. I will just pass frequency 1. Okay, everything is working well. I can remove this part. And now, let's say like, I will just take this one. I will remove it. And let me just use this one here. I have double here. And here. Okay. And instead, N1 will be equals to frequency. And you know what? I will just pass number 1. I will just pass number 1. And here, I will just pass the second number. And I think here I have to say like if this one and this one. And here frequency 1. Okay, see 1. Then we have it here and N1. This one are our object. And we say N1. That is the one that I have. And I say N1. N1 is equal is different to N2. And this one that I created here is absolutely the same. If I take this code, here, if I take this code here and I replace it, and I replace it, this one has to be doing absolutely the same. Oh, if it's false and okay, and this is true, this is false, and this guy is telling me that it's false. I am failing in something here. Frequency,
Yes, 21. I don't understand. You are looping only N1 key
yeah.
in N1. Okay, I don't even know how to explain. I'll just follow you. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, it's not a problem. I am just trying basically to how can I say? I am just trying in this moment to create a second function. Okay, because the solution that we have here, the only thing that I want to do is, if you are seeing here, this code and this code are absolutely the same. Then when you have 2 times the same code, what you are usually doing it is just pass it into a function. And I am creating this frequency that my idea is to take it out in order to reduce code. And we are saying frequency that is here, take a number, then you are passing into toString, then you are passing into a string, then that string you are iterating this frequency 1. If the number exists into the string, you increment. If not, you put it into 1, and then you are returning the number 1. And then we can just say console.log N1 and N2 and 2. And we save it. And we have here 1, 2, 8. Okay, 1, 2, 8. That is what we are having, and that is completely correct. And let me just say, this guy is telling me that is not correct. Let's just see what's going on here. 34 and 14. This one has to return me false. What is a return undefined? Because here, right? Return false. It was just here, return false. This one is the error, return false. It's completely correct, the code that I am creating. It's completely correct. If we just take the data, we run it, and it's completely correct. Why is the thing that I am trying to do? If you see it, even though it's the same code, the only thing is because this frequency counter that I created before, just let me just go where I was. I have to save the information before to doing all of this refactoring. Was my mistake. I'm sorry for that. Okay. This is the same code. If you see here and this one, all this, what I am doing here is repeating the code. There is nothing more than repeated. Because I am repeating the code, what I am doing is taking that code outside into a new function. That is passing into a string, creating an object, iterating for every single element, and returning an object. And here we say n1 equals to the frequency counter, and 2 equals to the frequency counter. And in this case, you have a function, this frequency counter, that is going outside. I think Joanna and Kai, now maybe you understand what I was telling you, that the only different from the code that you sent it to me. And let me just go here into, I hope that you don't mind that I will be showing your code just to see it. And here I have Kai code. If you see this code and this code that you have here and you have here, everything you are just repeating. You are passing to a string, you are passing to a string, you are creating the frequency counter, you are creating the frequency counter, and you are iterating for every single element. You are repeating all the time. Then when you are repeating something, that usually you extract it into an extra function. And that was exactly what Lavina did it too. Pass it to a string, pass it to an object, and in this case, look, even Lavina did it a little bit even more complex in this case to pass it. And here it is. This one is the same. All of these steps, as you are seeing here, are completely the same. Then when you are repeating the same step, the only thing, the best approach or the best refactoring that you can do is take all the steps that they are repeating and putting it into a function. The logic is completely the same, just in case someone will have to tell me, but Mario is different. No, the logic is the same. The only thing that I did is I took all the repeated steps and I put it in a function. Now, most of the time, what you will do with those repeat function is take that repeat function, put it in another document, and import something like this. Import frequency. For example, frequency from, and let's say that here you have a document. And you will have some function. It will help you to have cleaner code. It's just like that. That is why we do it. It's completely correct. The previous one is just a way to work. When you repeat code, you take it out into a function. And that is why I was doing this, mostly to show you the step of refactoring. Refactoring, we can do it. And the easy way to refactor something is take that refactoring, put it into a function, and then import it. And it will make it more clear. The code didn't change. It's absolutely the same. It's just the refactoring part. I didn't change the logic of the exercise. Now, questions? I hope it is clear why we need that refactoring part. Okay, let's take in this case, 10-minute break, and we continue in 10 minutes, okay? Minutes time. See you in 10 minutes. Okay, let's finish this. We have an example. Write a function called save with accept two arrays. The function should return true if every value in the array has its corresponding value in the second array, and the frequency must be the same. Okay. Example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 9. Let's say the number 1, the square is 1. Okay. The square of 2 is 4. That is correct. And the square of 3 is 9. Okay, okay. Why? Because we have every element has it squared over there. Same, we'll have here the number 1. Okay, cool. Is a square. So 1. 2, the square is 4. We don't have it. That is false. Then we have the number 1. Okay, the square is 1. Okay, cool. The number 2, the square is 4. And the number 1, the square is 1, but we already use it. They have to be the same frequency in this case. Okay, cool. Then, possible solution that we can have it. Possible solution. There is someone that who want to collaborate with how you will solve this kind of exercise. If someone can say, I would do this, for example. It's open to all of you. How you would solve. Let's say like you are today in an interview and you have this problem. How you will solve it? Any idea? Okay, don't worry. Yeah, with us ideas, it is. Okay, one solution, and because of the time, we will go here. And we are saying the function same get two arrays. All right. First one, we check if the array has the same length. If they have different lengths, we just return false. Then we say for let I from the array 1, 1 plus 1. Okay, cool. And we say a correct index, that means that the index in the array 2, correct index, we say it will be array 2 index of the element multiply, or in this case, with the square, right? Here, let me just go here. I will just take the two arrays, and I have 1, 2, and here 3, and here I have 9, here I have 1, and here I have 4. Okay. I am iterating every element into the element 1 here, okay, into the element 1. I have here the number 1. That means that this one, array index I, right now is 1. This one, I pass it into the square that we have it, and in this case will be 1, index of 1 in the array 2, okay? The index is in this moment 1, because the index of 1 is 1, have here the index, and we just say it. If the index is not -1, if the index is -1, return. Index of an inexisting number here can give us or an index or -1. -1 mean doesn't exist. And then we just say array 2, this array, splice one element in the index 1. Then we delete this number. We delete this number. That number doesn't exist. And we move into the position 2. Okay? Because this one is 1 by 1. Now it's 1. Array 2, in the index of array 1, array, this one is the number 2 to the square is 4. 4. Now this position will be the position, always the position 1, right? It will be the position 1. And we say correct index is equal to -1? No. Okay. Then we continue in the array 2, remove the index, the position 1, the index 1. We remove it, and now our for loop move to the next element, and the next element is 3. Is 3. We say in the array 2, in the index 0, in the index 1, this one is 3, to the square is 9. Find the number 9 in the array 2. Okay, what is the index? In this case, the index 0. If the correct index is different to -1, okay, then return this 1. And we splice this element. We don't have any more element here, then we return true, right? Because there are no more elements into that array. And is evaluated. It's saying that in every element, in the array 1 is equal to the array 2 square, right? Every single element into the array 1 appear into the array 2 by 0. Now, let's go with another example. And the second example will be this one. Let me just go here, and we will go to the next one. And I will just add it here. Okay. Here we have the 2 elements. Here we have the 2 arrays that we are looking for. We start iterating into the array 1 here. That is number 1. The first element in that array to the square, 1 to the square is 1. The position in the array 2 is this one, this position, okay? See, that means is the position 2, okay? We go to the array 2, we remove that element, from the array 2. That means this number 1 doesn't exist anymore. And we continue with the second element. The second element is 2. Second element is 2. Now that we have the second element, that we remove it from that place, we just check. Okay, let's say 2 to the square is 4 into the array 2, which is the index. The index is 0, right? Okay. This one is just move it. We are right to this one. Displace, that means we remove this one. In this array, I just have the number 1 because I cannot just repeat it. Then we move to the number 1. Okay. It will say the array 1 in the position 2 is 1. To the square is 1. In the array 2, index of 1 is, what is the, now in this moment, the array 2 index of 1? What is going to give me here? What is that index in that moment?
0, and it's gonna be 1.
It will be -1, right?
Oh, Array 2 index of
Index of
Hmm.
1.
Index of 1 is 1. Oh, 0. Why it's
0,
minus
because
1?
there is not. Yeah, no. Is -1 because index of give you in this case
Oh,
-1
you
when the
already
index doesn't
iterated it.
exist.
Out of range, yeah.
I'm sorry? Would you mind to repeat? Someone say something. It was not
It's,
Junior.
yeah,
So
out of range, I think. It's out of
yeah,
range.
because it's out of range. It's like it doesn't exist. I check everything and doesn't exist because this line, what is doing it? What is doing it is removing every single element. It's like a splice, take the number outside, right? Like delete the number because we already use it, we delete it and we go in this case because then it's out of the range, doesn't exist. Then we say correct index -1, we return false, and that means like that element is out of the range. That is what we are doing here. The only thing that is checking is using every time every element and removing it. Now, my question is, what is the big O notation? Oh, okay, you already have it here, right? The big O notation is n to the square. Why? We have n big O of n here. We have big O of n, and this one is also big O of n, big O of n. Then you say big O of n. This one is inside this one. When one for loop or one iteration is inside another iteration, that immediately give you big O of n square. That is going to give you big O of n square.
Mario, but we can do the same. We can do it with objects like before.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
and it's gonna be
that's what you
offline.
exactly. That is perfect. That is what I am looking
But
for.
when I looked at first, I thought we don't have the power because if we don't know power, it's gonna be really difficult to solve this task.
Yeah.
This was a naive
No,
solution, right?
Yeah, it's like I thought it can be squared or the cube or horsepower.
Yeah. But now we understand it, right? And it's exactly what I want you to see it. Look, when we are checking frequency, when we have this kind of inconvenience, this kind of problem, you need to know how many times something is repeating. It will be exactly like this. And that is the next one. Here it is. Here is the refactoring part. And even this one, I have my inconvenience. What is happening? And let's just say it. At the beginning, we just check if they have the same length, right? Because if they have different lengths, they will never be. Then we have the frequency 1 and the frequency 2. Okay. We go from the first and the array 1, we array 1, we get the value and we get the frequency. I will just tell you, okay, we have the frequency of that element, how many times that one is repeating, and we have here how many times it's repeating. Here we are just creating the frequency counter. Again, I will argue it that I don't like this approach because we can just take it out from one array. Aside of that, now we start letting it into the frequency counter 1. Doesn't matter, remember, it can be at the frequency counter 1 or the frequency counter 2. You can take any of them and you start iterating. And we just say it. If the key to the square, in frequency counter doesn't exist, return false. Okay, remember, right now we are checking the frequency of the array 1. I need to know if the key exists. If the key doesn't exist, then it's giving me a problem. Let me just go and get the examples here, and we will try to take it. I am not coding it for one reason, and the main reason what I am not coding it is because I already coded this frequency counter 2 times, and I think like the algorithm itself, we know it, right? We know it, how to do it. Okay. Now, let's say that we will take the first one, and here we will create the objects. We'll create the objects. The number one appear 1 time. The number 2 1 time, and the number 3 1 time. Okay, 1 time. Then here we have the number 4 1 time, the number 1 1 time, and the number 9 1 time. Okay, I hope it is made. Now this is what we are doing here. These two we are passing this array into this object. This is done here. Now we go to the second step. We are taking this frequency. We are taking this object. This object, and we get the keys. The keys are 1, 2, and 3. Okay. You will say if the key to the square, this one, this square, that means like this one to the square is 1, exists into the frequency counter 2. Okay, the number 1 here exists. Okay, cool, exists. Now we go to the frequency. If frequency counter 2, the key to the square, that is 1, that we already know that exists, is different with the frequency counter 1 here, but now we are comparing values. Now we are comparing values. If they are the same, okay, cool. Then we go to the second element. The second element is 2. That is the key. The key to the square is 4. Then exists in the frequency counter 2? Yes, here is the 4. Now we compare these two. Okay, the frequency counter key to the square, that is 4, contain the frequency counter key. That we're saying, look, the 2 contain the 4 to the square. Now we'll go with the third one. Here is the third one element. The third one element, we take the 3, we pass it to this to the square, is 9, and we say, that key exists here. Yes, it's here. And we say, the square value, how many numbers 9 do we have? We have 1. And how many number 3 we have? We have 1. And that is working correctly. Now, let me go from the one that is false. We already, and I hope that this is clear so far. This is this part, right? When we are creating the frequency counter. The 1 is 1 time. This one we know that they have different lengths. They enter here and false, okay, because they have different lengths. The next one, they have the same length, and I have the number 1, 1 time. The number 2, 1 time. The number 1, 2 times, right? Now, the number 4, 2 times, and the number 1, 1 time. Okay, cool. Now we iterate this guy here. We iterate it and we say, we take the number 1, we go to the square. Look, the number 1 has to be here, then is 2. Here is 2. The number 1, the key 1 to the square is 1. That key exists in the frequency counter. Yes, exists. Now we do. The frequency counter in the position 1 to the square is 1. In the position 1, has the same value as the frequency counter 1 with the key 1. And you see, now we are comparing values. They are the same? No, they are not. That means like this one will be false. In the first one, we compare key. In the second one, we compare values. With the value that we have it inside the element. And that makes sense? Or I already lost you?
No, it's good. It's cool.
I am not convinced with your school because that is what I will tell you something. The only thing that you are doing here is checking how many times one element is repeated. There is no science extra on here. What we will do is, here in the exercises, we have this second problem. This second problem is called permutation. This exercise is very similar to this one that we have here. You also will need to use the frequency counter. It's a permutation string. What we are saying, given to a string, write a function that uses an object properties as a key value. That means like I use a frequency counter. Determine if the stored elements, the second is a permutation of the first one. Thing that you have to know. Look, for example, don't take if they are lowercase or uppercase. Don't worry. First, transform it to uppercase. Then check, for example, air. We have one air, one A. We have one A, one T. We have one T, and one T. We have two T's, and we have it over there. This one, it will be your exercise, and I would like you to be working in these two exercise. They are absolutely the same thing, one of another one. And this is a palindrome permutation, is absolutely the same. Something that you have to know, there are your letters for A to C, is not empty, and you don't have to thinking about the numbers. These are the two exercises that I would like you to try to solve it for the next, in this case, next class that we have it over here. Yes, Kai?
So in this case, it says is not empty. Is it means about space, or we should counter spaces here?
No. That means like it's not empty. It means like you will always get a string. It will arrive on the string. You will not get you don't have to check if the string is empty. If a string dot length, if the string dot length.
In this case, do we need to see how many times it's gonna, for example, this tact core, how many times it's going to return us so a palindrome, right?
Yes. And what is a palindrome?
How many combinations, right?
Exactly. What you have to do is, for example, here we have TAC-HOA. A palindrome is a word that is written from the beginning to the end, from the end to the beginning is the same. But this one is a permutation. That means like the only requirement for a palindrome means every letter has to be repeated and pair number. We have a even and non-numbers, right? Every letter has to be repeated even number of time with a maximum of one letter repeated one non-time. For example, TAC-HOA the letter T repeat 2 times, the letter A repeat 2 times, the letter C repeat 2 times, and the letter O repeat in this case O time, 1 time. That means like I can do something like this. Look, I can put TT, AA, CC, and put the O here. And this one is a palindrome because here, look, ta, okay, ta, ko, cat. And if I put it backwards, ta, ko, cat. And they are in the same way, they are a palindrome. You just have to check that after reading the full stream and you create your frequency counter, all the elements inside are even numbers with a maximum of 1 that is repeating just 1 time. And that will give you the solution for this exercise. Try to not to add this one to ChatGPT because ChatGPT will give you the answer right away. But if you get too much in problems, you can use it. I'm just saying that you just need the frequency counter basically to solve it. Jessica?
Is it spaces was going also be inside the palindrome, right?
You can remove it, but basically in this case, in this one, we remove it, the space.
Okay.
We remove the space. Thank you for that solution. I think I solved it. I was thinking that we will write it here, but we took some time doing some other stuff. I think I will stop from here right now. Just to review it, we basically just saw a frequency counter. And next class, we will be talking about multiple pointers in this case. And one part of multiple pointers, one of the algorithms that we will see in this case will be one of the search that in this case is called binary search. And I think that will be the more interesting algorithm that we will see in the next class will be a binary search. And we will just start using this 2-pointer or multiple pointer approach for solving problems. Usually, a multiple pointer is when you are searching for things. Look for two elements that create 0. Look for a permutation that you can get something. Usually is used by that type of algorithm or like a binary search. Any question for today?
No.
Okay, I hope that you have learned something. Thank you for giving me your time. If you have questions, please feel free to text me. I will try to not to ignore you that much and at least to answer you from time to time. And see you next Friday. Feel free to text me if you need it.
Thank you for the class. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mario. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend.
Have a good night. Yeah.
You too. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Thank you. I got to sleep.
Good morning then.